Yeah.
All right, welcome to the Mr. Pod Show. I'm Miguelito. I'm here with Zach Bell. A la, are you just going with Spaceboy games now? Is that what you represent?
Yeah, that's the thing. We're doing that. Let's go with that.
Okay, so no longer of Zach Bell Games. He sold that company
Yeah.
to somebody named Roger.
Yeah. Roger's a nice guy.
How are you doing?
Oh, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Now, it's my understanding that you've been kind of self-imposed crunch time for Farah for GDC, kind of getting ready.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was further along before, and then I wanted to organize everything because I kind of just hacked shit together for gifts and Twitter and appearances. So I refactored a bunch of stuff and kind of just started over, maybe mid October, and now we're kind of back to where I was at. So I don't know. We got like 2 months left, so should be good.
Are you saying you didn't do it perfectly the first time?
No, it was horrible.
I, I'm starting to think I'm really suffering from following the Zach Bell method because, originally when we did our first show, I really, hadn't really gotten into Twitter that much. And now
Hmm.
it's like every bit of code that I write, I think, what's the visual implication on Twitter of me
Yeah.
doing this code?
Yep.
So I cut corners and, I fake some stuff occasionally, but it treats you well.
It does. It does.
And
I mean, I spent all day yesterday shaking trees and breaking pots, so
oh yeah, well that's awesome. I mean,
wasn't really on my to-do list, but
uh, honestly, I'm shocked that your artists will let you cut up the graphics like that. I mean, the perspective is all wrong, and I mean it looks cool.
that is true. That is true. I mean, he's in the chat. Let's see.
Yeah, he's asking what my twalue is.
It's got to be like 12.
My twalue is so high right now. Like you have no idea. I I've surpassed all expectations of twalue. But no, I'm starting to think that I enjoy Twitter a lot more than I enjoy game development.
In there.
And we've got the game going on, which kind of evolved over time, where basically a way to bait somebody on Twitter into saying something out of context that sounds terrible, or even in
Hmm.
context, and then you retweet it when they're not expecting
Yeah.
it. I find
We ninja
myself
retweet.
yeah. You go through
Yeah.
somebody's profile, find something they said to a random person you don't even know about nothing, and figure out a way to turn it to your benefit. It's probably the
That's,
funniest thing.
that's part of my day.
Yeah. So 2 months out. Why are you working so hard 2 months out?
Let's see. Trying to relay. We got March 18th, so we actually got a little over 2 months, I guess. Um, really, there's just like big things that I'm not even sure how the hell I'm gonna do yet,
Yeah.
and I know several ways of doing them. I just don't know which way I want to do and which way we'll end up doing in the end. So I want to get there as soon as possible so I can try all of them. Hopefully, ideally, I guess.
And you're talking about cards.
Well, no, that's all mostly out of the way. Um,
No, you need more cards.
it's mostly the generation of the overworld. So yeah,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
so now I'll give you an option. We can either answer the stupid fucking questions that people ask that have nothing to do with anything. They're trying to make jokes, perpetuate their own positive image, or we can go on to something else. We did get a lot of questions. I just don't see any that like are actually questions and not just people masturbating.
Um, yeah,
Okay. Here's one.
perfect.
we
Let's
got
do it.
we got wait, fuck Mary Kill, Kickstarter early access publisher,
Okay.
and that's from Sandra Gordon,
Okay, Sandra. Hi, Sandra.
and it's at Bando Calrissian. I think is his Twitter handle.
Are you gonna go first, or do I answer it first, or?
I will. I'll go for. I mean, I don't like to let my guests do shit. I'd rather just talk the whole time and have you
Oh,
sit
perfect.
there. You can make reaction faces.
Okay.
Uh,
That's. I mean, I'll be doing it anyway. It's fucking cold as hell in this garage.
I'm gonna go with. Hmm.
Does it have to pertain to game dev? Like, is it?
Well, I don't know. It's more. I think it's more of a vibe for me. Like
Gotcha.
what do I like? I think I would probably marry a publisher because you know they have money. They take care of you,
Hmm.
and it's guaranteed. You know, and as long as you
True.
like don't fuck around, you get that money. Feels nice, and they like cook for you and stuff. Uh,
Depends which publisher.
you gotta. Oh, I'm not gonna get specific. uh, you gotta kill Kickstarter, I think. And that used to not be my answer, but I think Kickstarter is like real dangerous now. Man, it's a trip seeing your reactions to different things on the right monitor and then like real time on the left.
Yeah, I'm so. This is weird. I'm looking at myself because I have to, but then I'm over here in the past, and you're talking, but nothing's coming out, and then you talk, and then I don't know.
Yeah, so kill Kickstarter. And I guess fuck early access. It's
That's
really
simple.
not. They're all kind of shitty.
They are kind of shitty.
It's like you're picking the best of bad options.
Yeah, that's kind
Uh,
of weird.
you know what the best option is just like already being independently wealthy. Can I marry that? Can I marry like
Yeah.
having worked hard not on game dev for several years and maybe be like an investment broker who started making games? That's what I would marry.
My answers pretty much line up with yours, so that's not very exciting.
Oh yeah, it was a bad question. That's what I mean. It's
I
like,
mean, I'd say Devolver's probably fuckable.
oh yeah,
I-
and you know they throw all the good parties,
It's true.
so you can liquor them up first.
That's true. That is true. That's our best question?
Okay, let's scroll up. Uh, dumb question, fake question. Okay, Alugs asked how to get muscles like yours. I don't know if he's talking to you or me. Probably you, because I have a dad body.
Oh, I mean, um, what is, what, how do I become rich is a pretty good question. Um, Muscles.
I don't know. Do I have muscles?
I'm assuming a visual impact comes with that, but I haven't seen it yet. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's that's really weird on my end.
I know. God. This is the best one ever. I should put everything through the context of I just woke up in a 2-year-old's bed like an hour ago. So I'm like
What happens
loopy.
in Vegas, I guess.
I'm blasting caffeine right now.
That's the way to go.
So do you want
I'm
to?
in my garage on top of that, so I'm just freezing. I have a blanket and there's random crap behind me.
Where are all the cars?
In my other indie mansion.
In your this is an indie garage. It doesn't
Yeah.
have cars. It just has like easels and I don't know, pug art.
Um, I got my workout journal and an old copy of Goblet of Fire, apparently.
Yes. And
Yeah.
is that children's photos behind you?
It's my children photos.
Oh, well, that's less creepy.
Slightly, I guess. Yeah. And the other side, I got a squat rack and some lamps and my ex's stuff.
Okay, so there's a good one. Let's talk about the ramifications and responsibilities of Twitter fame.
Okay.
And I'll let you give your take because I have a lot to say about this.
Is ramification like a Lambeer thing? Like,
Oh,
or is that like a word?
it is a word, ramification, like the consequence.
That was kind of a joke, and then you made me look stupid.
Now, let me tell you about the words in the dictionary.
Word. Yeah, we've all seen you play Alpha Bear. Um, hmm. I mean, we've talked about this before, kind of, but I guess it's on Skype, so people don't see it.
Oh,
I tend
I
to
post it
be
on a
a
blog.
little more politically correct on the Twitters than you do. Um, I don't really have any reasoning behind that, other than I don't really use Twitter as like a joke platform. Like, that's really, I don't really have any reasoning. If you want to see me be funny and kind of not politically correct, add me on Facebook, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. But also don't, please,
Yeah,
please
but don't.
don't.
That's weird.
I don't want to expose my family to any of these indie freaks.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I retweeted the hey, we're gonna do a podcast, and then I was writing on Facebook, hey, we're gonna do a podcast, and I just didn't tag you.
No.
It's always weird.
Yeah, because I don't want them to know what I'm doing.
Yeah, apparently like 5,000 followers is when they start bleeding over to Facebook, and it gets weird.
It does. It gets really weird.
It's really weird.
Especially because you end up with a bunch of like 15, 16-year-old Facebook friends. That,
Well, man, like
that,
I teach drums at the junior high and high school still,
oh, wow.
and like I'll get a bunch of like 13-year-old girls that add me on Facebook, and it's weird.
What do you do? Because
Well,
those are the people that want to say shit to you all the time.
yeah, I'm in like a bunch of like private chat groups. Like they just start groups and like add me to them, and then they just post like poop emojis and random stuff, and I just kind of ignore it.
Yeah, and it's like you do know that I legally cannot reply to anything with anything. Like
Yeah, yeah.
your dad will see it and
There's
come to
always
my
like
house.
there's always like a I don't even know favorite pet student type of thing. Usually just like some guy who thinks he's a hotshot drummer or something, and he'll add me on Snapchat, and then my Snapchat will get around to all the other kids and the
Oh
girls and
Jesus.
whatnot.
That's bad.
So then it's like, holy shit,
You're
you know,
playing
I
with
got
fire.
my little daughter sending me pictures of her smoking pot or something at
Ugh.
like 3 a.m. I don't know what to do with that. It's weird. It's super weird.
That is weird. I don't have that
That's
problem.
why I'm super politically correct on Twitter and stuff. I guess that's my answer to Sandy's thing.
Well, I think maybe you made the mistake of using your real name.
Yeah, Zach Bell James is really stupid. I guess.
Well, I don't know if it's stupid. I mean, if you're a lot more of a professional than I am, which is funny to say. But I really haven't let it bleed over into my real life.
Yeah,
A couple of people know my real name, and I don't really care. But I would much rather just that's not the same person. You
yeah,
know, the
yeah,
person who goes out to dinner with his wife and kid. That's not the person that's on Twitter.
yeah.
And I like to keep it that way. um, but I will say, like, there was a point in time where people started following me, and I was legitimately worried. You know, if I
Yeah.
keep saying the types of things that I was saying, is it gonna become news? You know, are people gonna, you know, be shitty at me? And they have been. And what I found from that experience is it makes you uncomfortable the first couple times, and then it's just like more people are going to not want to associate with you if you're a faceless little bitch, you know, with no personality. You just gotta be yourself, because in the end, I don't
Mhm.
think there's a good example of anybody who's failed because of being a dipshit.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
be a dipshit. I mean, like all the examples of dipshits that people bring up, those are millionaires.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. Like I mean,
You
the
throw,
easy one's
yeah,
obvious.
you throw Phil Fish around, which is the
Yeah.
obvious one. People are like, "Oh, Phil Fish, Phil Fish." Well, most people don't know who that is, and the ones that do, it's because he's fucking rich out of his mind.
Yeah.
So he doesn't give a shit, and and that's the thing. It's like, be yourself. There's no consequence, and honestly, I'd rather know who you actually are than
Yeah. Yeah.
than that your game is good. Like, I don't give it. If your game is good, people are gonna play it. Hitler could make a game if it's
Yeah.
awesome, and people would play
Yeah.
it, and be impressed that he came back to life, probably.
That
But
would be. I can't. That would not be cool. What the? Anyway.
zombie Hitler. Whoa, he'd be
Oh,
so.
someone asked how
fucking
old we are.
indie.
By the way, I don't know if you have ever said how old you are, but I turned 24 recently.
Yeah, I'm 30. I'm
Get-
so old. Jesus.
You want to race to 40?
Oh god. And I feel it too, man. Like I mean, I feel like, you ever see that Rocky Balboa Rocky sequel where he's
I'm-
like way old. Have you seen that? Have you
My grandfather told me about it.
Fuck. No, and I remember specifically, he's training to fight, and it's like, well, you're too old to be a finesse guy, so you basically just have to beat the shit out of your body until you have like raw force
Yeah.
to overcome. And that's how I feel sometimes. I'll do a little workout or whatever, and
A little workout.
the next day I just want to kill myself.
I feel it. I did squats about an hour ago.
Yeah, you're still young. You can handle it.
Here I am. I'll be sitting here until the next time I have to do squats.
Yeah, I do squats, and the next day I have to like drive with sticks in my car.
Yep. Yep.
But that's how I feel about being fake on Twitter. I don't think there are any ramifications as long as you're just honest. I think people appreciate it, and people that don't like you, you don't want to associate with people like that anyway, because it poisons your day.
Yep.
And I almost find myself trying to get rid of people that I know don't actually like me, because it's just not worth it. I don't want to respond to whining all the time.
It's hard to like people.
Yeah,
I mean,
people are shit, man.
like everyone I met through games, for the most part, is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Almost 100%. Everyone that I've met outside of games, probably about the same percentage, is kind of an asshole. I'm not really sure why that is.
Yeah. Somebody just said, "Is that a college diploma on the wall?" Yes. I'm a graduate of college.
Oh, that's Unity Bear Sawblade cage fighting motherfucker.
Yeah, memes are a good way to make video games now.
That is true. That's true. I think he lives like down the street from me.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's locally at the very least. But
Well, so if I'm not
drive on over to Zach's garage and
yeah, you do it.
Yeah.
Show up in the background. Check out his
with a bear. Bring the bear.
check out his children's photos. Photos of children in his garage.
Sandy's the only one asking questions.
So, people a little while ago, as I recall.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, did you follow Games Done Quick or whatever?
I watched Ink.
You fucker. Yeah. I mean,
I saw a few things. I saw a weird Zelda run. I saw Mario Maker. I saw the Step Mania thing that everyone was tweeting. A couple others, but I didn't watch it like all the way through or anything.
yeah, this was actually the first year that I've been aware of it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not super salty in the realm of indie, even after a year. I don't really keep up. But one thing
Yep.
I will say is I saw a Mega Man X race between two
Mm.
people on a split screen,
Hmm.
and not only are they insane, they're like neck and neck the whole way doing shit that I can't even imagine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
Nuts.
oh, if you make this jump and slightly tap to the left, then you get like 0.1 second. And so they're like a second apart for the majority of it. And you gotta wonder, it's like amazing, but it's also like, why? Why?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I feel watching it in general. Like it's impressive, but I don't really understand why you would get to that point, or why you would like how you would even start that process, or why you'd want to start that process.
Yeah, like if you devoted the
I
same
don't
amount
know.
of time like smiling at girls or something, you'd
Yeah,
probably be a lot happier.
probably
Just go to a bar, smile at girls, go home. You know, one out of the 100 times.
one out
It's
of 100. Hmm.
somebody asked if Farah's gonna be, is it Farah?
It's far.
Okay, is it gonna be playable at GDC? I think
Yes,
yes.
it will be playable. We have a booth. Um, come play it at the booth. I
Yes.
yeah.
Go to
Uh,
booth.
the first area will be hopefully completely done. Um, that's really all I can say at this point. But yeah, it'll be there, and you can play it.
Yeah. So one question I've always had about it is it going to be largely just like self, like the narrative of the game? Is it just going to be driven by the gameplay itself, or are you actually going to have at some point some sort of a narrative or dialogue that has to be localized?
We are trying to limit text as much as possible.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be any story besides maybe an intro and an ending. A lot of it we want to be told through like lore and just gameplay stuff. So
Yeah, I think if your world oh, was it Hyperlight? They were talking about telling a story because the world is interesting and you feel like you're a part of it, and that's kind of self-descriptive at a certain point.
yeah.
But on the other hand, it's become so expensive to sell a game in other countries with the localization rules.
Hmm.
Like, it's almost like a bad plan to
Yeah, yeah.
do what I want to do, which is write a lot of shit.
Well, especially with like jokes and stuff that don't really translate well, a
Yeah.
lot of the time anyway. But we do have like we'll have like a deck builder with the cards and it lists descriptions and shit. So we do have text that we'll need to translate, but it'll be like names of cards that don't have to be for discrete anyway. So
Yeah, just do it like Pokemon cards, like put little symbols and numbers next
yeah,
to them, and
that's pretty much all it is.
you don't really have to translate numbers for the most part.
We'll probably have little descriptions, but simple stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Um, 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 ink shirt. I have one. I don't plan on making a bunch. I'd rather just give you the template and let you make it. But there will be Spaceboy and or Farah shirts and posters. If not all at GDC, then definitely at PAX. Um,
But that's a good question, dude. When did this start? About the time that I tweeted that it was going to start.
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think it was around that time. What do you think? I think it's pretty close.
Um, it's Spaceboy's first GDC, but I was there last 2 years, I guess. But I just went as myself.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so uh, back out of these questions because it's not really going to be contextual on a podcast. Uh, the other thing I wanted to talk about is I've seen a lot of top lists, like top games
yes.
of the year,
Hmm.
and I mean there are some obvious ones, but what games have you seen that you're just like, wow, like these are,
Just
not necessarily AAA because you kind of
yeah.
expect a certain, quality, but there have been a lot of games this year that really surprised people, I think.
Mhm. Um, let's see. I mean, obvious ones are like Undertale, Downwell. Lisa was really good too. I don't know why it really didn't gain as much traction as Undertale. I feel like it's up there
Did
with
you play?
Undertale.
Did you play Lisa?
Yeah.
Are you lying?
No,
I didn't. I didn't play Lisa. I wanted to. I looked at it and I thought, oh, that looks really interesting.
I played it longer than I played Undertale.
Did you? Yeah. Well, that one is actually RPG Maker,
Yes, yeah.
but
And I mean, I don't have anything against Undertale. I just like neither of them are my style anymore. I'm just
yeah,
I can't pay attention long enough.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
Well, so
I played more Downwell than both of those combined,
yeah, I mean that kind of seems like your style of game. It's kind of a roguelike.
and I played it during pooping. So
Yeah, yeah, and poop gaming.
yeah.
I talk about this a lot. Moppin is actually in our little
Oh,
Slack thing now,
yeah, that's funny.
which is cool.
I feel like Downwell is like this weird metaphor for me pooping while I'm pooping. Kind of just works out.
Yeah. Well, it's a good template for
It is.
the type of game that you want to make if you're a person by yourself and you want to do something in an amount of time and achieve gratification. Because it seems like a hard thing to generate content, but it is so much faster
Oh yeah,
than
yeah.
handcrafting.
I
And
mean,
it
like when
could,
you're moving down in that game, none of them have like. I assume he's doing like Spelunky-ish chunk-based generation where he's like made little pieces of things,
yeah,
just put
probably.
them all together. Um, like none of that is hard to do when you're going down, like in Downwell and Spelunky, because you don't have to calculate jump height and all this other stuff. You just make random shapes and you keep plugging them in as they go further and further. It's really easy. So
Yeah, and it's kind of a novel concept. They combined an infinite runner sort
yeah,
of with a roguelike. And I think that struck a chord with a lot of people. I'm not sure exactly how well it did on. I assume it did a lot better on the mobile phone than it did on Steam.
yeah, I would assume so. I
The
sucks
mobile.
that I can't see anything.
Do people say mobile phone anymore? the
I
mo-
don't think. They say
I said
they say
PC microphone the other day. Get out your PC microphone. Okay.
I need to stop looking at the chat.
Yeah, I played Undertale. Of
Yeah,
those, I think I played the most Undertale, but I don't really play that many games anymore.
yeah, yeah. Me either, honestly. So
I think though when you look at Undertale, which now has scratched, I mean it's almost 900,000 sales. I check it in order to like give myself a reason to cry myself to sleep.
perfect.
And when I look at a game like that, and I see that it's just basically a pure passion project, that's something somebody just really wanted to make, that makes me think that's the right way. I mean,
Oh yeah,
that's not a
definitely.
game you clone, but that is definitely a philosophy you clone. If there's something that you really want to make, it's going to be a lot better than looking at what is currently good and trying to reproduce that.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, I just have utmost respect for that because it's a lot more risky, but I think the payoff is a lot higher, and also you're not going to be bored when you're doing it, which means that it's probably going to get finished.
true, true. Yeah, I mean, I would agree. It's just most people aren't in a position where they can finish stuff like that, at least not in a timely manner.
Yeah, I just think
Um,
that maybe there are a lot of people learning the wrong lessons, and they're saying like, oh, I should make a game that looks like Earthbound
yeah,
is the lesson, and that's not the
yeah,
lesson.
mhm,
Because it didn't do well because it looks like Earthbound. It did well because it was a very honest and
yes,
it was a fucking really good game. And I mean, bullet hell is not a genre that I am even remotely interested in.
yeah, same.
But it was a clever way to do combat in an RPG.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's great. I've watched, I think, all the different runs,
Yeah.
be it like a let's play or whatever, because I think it's funny and I think it's cool, and I like watching the combat. Combat, I don't know, um, but I don't want to play it. So I
Yeah.
usually have someone play it in the background as I work.
Yeah, the Game Grumps did it,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
I didn't realize. I started watching last night actually, because the only time I played it live, and I just killed everything because I thought it would amuse people in the stream.
yeah,
But watching it back, in a more pacifist run, you can tell that that's really the way that it's supposed to be played.
yeah, yeah.
Like the entertainment value is so much higher. I think at one point there was a monster named Jerry, and the way that you win is by ditching Jerry, like with his friends. And it's just like out of nowhere. It's just the fucking craziest thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, if people haven't played it and aren't planning on playing it, like, I would just watch a boss rush type of video.
Yeah, but if you are planning on playing it, definitely don't watch it first.
Yeah, definitely don't watch it
You
first.
play it once, and if you don't want to play it again, you can watch it a bunch of times. But you really need to
Yep.
experience it. Uh, yeah, it's just worth it. But I'm gonna have to get Lisa because I think that it looks like it's up my alley.
Oh yeah, yeah, I would say that.
But you know what isn't? Yeah.
I would say Lisa fits just your style of humor and stuff more than Undertale does.
It looks real depressing.
Exactly. Yeah, kind of just sad.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like humor to me, Zachariah.
Eh.
What else we got?
What do we got? What do we got? I don't know. Do you like any AAA games this year? I didn't really play any.
I played Fallout.
I did not.
I can't help myself. There's something
I don't have
about
$60.
yeah. Well, we all know that's a lie. Look at all those child's pictures in the background. Those cost money.
Look at all those kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that a chrome-plated garage door chassis? I see. I mean, you've got some money. I don't even want
I have two of my own squat racks.
to. You can squat, and you can have a buddy squat simultaneously. That's
And I got a chair that just sits up there. Nobody needs a chair up there, but I got it.
no, you do. You have the shit out of that chair.
I do. It's a great chair.
Yeah, I mean, I played Fallout. I got really into the building aspects,
Yes.
which I think was readily apparent because I broadcast my life like some sort of a pseudo celebrity, and so that was fun. Other than that, I don't really play games.
Yep, this is the best game-related podcast in the world.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
supposed to play games.
that's just kind of how things go. I think you get busy.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
And
I honestly just don't like anything that's out. Like anything. I don't know if it's because I'm picky or I just not that type anymore. I can't find anything I like.
well, I don't know if you remember. I had a poll a while back that was like, I make games because,
Mm-hmm.
and either it's because you like games or you hate games.
Yep.
And I think at a certain point they're both valid, but
Yeah.
there's something about having been exposed to so many games where you think about them critically rather
Yeah.
than playing them. And
Yeah.
even if it's a good game, I can understand that it's a good game, but I'm diagnosing, what was successful and what wasn't. I think at that point you pretty much need to be on the creator's side of things for everybody's sake. Because when you're making games just because you like everything, I think the product is going to be maybe more whimsical, less specifically targeted at like entertainment and game theory, and it's important to put some thought into your design. If you love games and make good games, I don't know how you do that, but
Yeah.
that might be
I'm
controversial.
with that.
Somebody's gonna be like, well, I love games and I make the greatest games, and capitalism
So-
keeps me from succeeding.
It happens. It happens.
Damn you, capitalism.
I mean, I'm trying to think if I played any AAA games at all. I played Borderlands 2, but
Ugh.
that's not like
Ugh.
4 years ago.
Borderlands. Yuck.
It was good,
Was it?
but I think it. Well, I played the Game of the Year edition, so it must have been good, right? That's how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a Game of the Year edition of Ink. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, Borderlands was an equation that I think was created in order to. I don't even know what it was for. Like the whole generating everything thing that they do.
Yeah,
It's a gimmick, and a lot of people again learn the wrong lessons. So Destiny was kind of like Borderlands.
yeah.
Uh, you've also got some MMOs that have tried to emulate it, like oh shit, I can't remember the name. this I'm a great expert right now.
But yeah, I mean, Borderlands. The only reason I played it is because my friend wanted co-op shit, like couch co-op, and that was the only thing we could find that had like decent reviews. So we played it.
Yeah. On that note, let's talk about consoles because I got a Wii U, and I didn't mean to.
Is it plugged in?
It is actually.
Oh, that's weird.
As an adult man, it's very strange when people give you video game consoles that you didn't ask for.
Yes.
But my mom,
Thanks, mom.
my mommy, she gave me a Wii U for Christmas, and I gotta say, like, couch co-op is alive and well on the Wii U.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I don't think it is healthy on any other console
I think it's
or on the
because
computer.
everyone at Sony and Microsoft know how to do networking.
Well, it's not just that, but they also found out, that the lady that watches my daughter during the day, her kids, they have 3 different Xbox Ones in their house. So I think Microsoft figured out a way to basically sell more consoles for no reason. Like just okay, don't have couch co-op in games that could, and people buy 3 consoles and
I
play.
would also say that people that still play Nintendo games probably have more real life friends than people who own Sony and Microsoft consoles.
You mean if you prefer a game about like hitting blocks to a game about uh, killing innocent people in an airport and dragging them through the blood? You
Exactly.
mean that would be a more socially well-adjusted individual,
Yeah,
perhaps?
like people that like more. I don't even know what to call them. I don't know, just like simple, accessible games like Mario or I don't know. Mario Kart is the other example. So fuck Mario.
Yeah, Mario Kart's incredible. Smash
Um,
Brothers.
like those are the type of people who would have people over to their house to play games. People that are like, I'm gonna go home and play Call of Duty, don't want their friend to come over and play Call of Duty. They want to.
Yeah, they want to get
That's the story.
online.
Like, bro, here's my gamer tag or whatever.
Yeah, they want to go home and take out their frustrations
Yeah,
on strangers and 12-year
on the
olds all over the
noob.
world.
Yeah.
Like,
Nobody has
oh,
ever said noob playing Mario Kart.
yeah. Oh, nice blue shell, noob. And then, like, you get punched in the face by a real person.
Yeah, that's not a thing that happens.
Don't call me noob. I use
Yeah.
that mushroom. I don't. I don't know. There's something about Mario Kart. It's cathartic to me because I started playing when it was on the SNES,
Mm.
and when it was new, and I do remember playing 4-person split screen Mario Kart.
Yeah, that was the
Uh,
part of my life where I was too young to remember things.
oh my god, it was amazing.
I never had one of those, so
Yeah, with the multi tap, and
yeah.
also Bomberman. That was a good one. But it was like games back then were really made to be fun, and I think a lot of the time now games are made as a method of like working out your latent homicidal tendencies on the world. I mean, who knows? Since the invention of video games, murders have gone way down, despite what the news would tell you. So I suspect that there are a lot of people that are fully satisfied by just killing fake people.
Yep. Yep.
It's not that we're getting better as a species, because
No.
we're not. I think you see evidence of that every day.
I didn't win the Powerball, by the way.
You
In case
didn't.
anyone's interested.
Well, that's okay. I won it, and I'll share with you.
Did you? Oh my gosh, that's great. Great news.
Can you imagine? No, I bet Trump won it.
He probably won it.
He's like, you fired. I have more money now. I can't do a Trump accent.
Have you seen the GIF of the walking penis with Trump's head? If you haven't, I think it's trending, so you can go find it pretty easily.
It's trending.
Yeah.
People need to leave that guy alone. He seems like a stand-up character, and all he wants to do is make us great again. I don't see what's wrong with that.
Seems fine. This is the first time I've ever searched for Trump's penis.
Trump penis.
On Twitter, and probably the last time.
Yes.
But
I bet you can find Brett Favre's penis on the internet.
I would suppose. Okay. I was gonna try to hold it up to the screen, but I don't know how that's gonna work.
Yeah. Gavin said, "Let's drag his name through the mud. He wants to build a wall." What the fuck?
This isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work.
I'm seeing it. It looks terrible.
Yeah, look at that. Good stuff.
Quit showing your political agenda on the podcast.
You can blurt that out later or something. That's how that works. We edit these, right?
No.
Oh, we're professionals, I thought.
I don't edit shit, man.
Oh.
I've never edited it. My editing is basically just like I cut off the bullshit part at the beginning.
Oh, perfect.
And that's it. I don't cut off anything else.
I'm glad that I'll be on the internet showing people Trump's penis.
That's okay. I'll just blur your face. That'll be the first edit I ever do.
Perfect. Perfect. Nobody will know.
Yes. I'll say that it's Sandy.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Quickly, new topic.
Well, I was still talking about the Wii. Is that not what we're talking about?
I got sidetracked by Trump's dick, and now here we are.
Trump's dick is the greatest. But yeah, I will say, like, Nintendo does still make toys, and I think they'll be around forever because of it, because they're not even in the same space as PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah.
Because they're making toys, man. Like, the Wii was a toy. The Wii U, it's got a fucking cool little controller that you can walk out of the room and keep playing the game on. That's the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life.
And I got 407 amiibo.
Yeah, I don't even know what an amiibo is.
I don't have an amiibo, but some people have the amiibo.
I know what an amoeba is. Is it like an amoeba?
No, that's not a thing.
What? Science. Fuck science.
Yeah, it's not stupid.
No, what do you know anything about amiibos? Because I hear it all the time, and it's one of those things where, like, I'm an old person, so I just keep nodding and smiling, like, yeah, amiibo, I agree, that's a thing.
I mean, I know what it is. It's just like a fucking action figure that you can put on your controller, and it like downloads content, basically.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's action figure DLC. So you're not just buying horse shit. You get an action figure with your horse shit. That's a dramatic improvement. So they need like Steam bows.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they have them, but they're digital, which is just more horse shit.
Yeah.
You can't put your fucking Undertale card on your desk. Bullshit.
There's no Undertale amiibo, so.
Punches Bears wants to know, because we both like pixel art games, which is pretty pigeonholy. What was the first pixel art game that had an impact on you? I know the answer to this already because you've already been on the podcast before.
I mean, earliest game with pixel art, probably Sonic 2.
Sonic.
I think I've said that several times.
Sonic.
I think it was the same for Sandy.
Sure. Now, Sandy's older like me, so he probably played good games.
No, I'm pretty sure. I think we talked about it a couple days ago. His first game was Sonic 2 also.
Really? My
Yeah.
respect meter for Sandy is just going down to new historic lows every day.
Well, the first 10 years of his life, he was just lifting weights. And then he got into games late and grabbed Sonic 2 on accident. It's not
Well,
his
he
fault.
has to. The guy's like 5 feet tall. I mean, he has to lift weights.
I
He's-
haven't seen him standing up.
He's
I don't-
like 4'6", I think. That's why he moved to Japan, where he'd be taller than average.
Oh my gosh, that makes sense.
Total sense, because he was from Texas. He's actually from Texas, and you got to imagine he was like the smallest person in Texas. So he was just like, okay, well, I'm going to start lifting weights in Japan now. No, I don't know. He could be. He could be like 7 feet tall. I have no idea. I just assume.
Yeah. pretty sure he's little.
He's a little Sandy.
He's just tiny.
His
I'm like 7'5" or something.
We need to set his Twitter handle to Lil Sandy.
Yeah. His I've actually never asked why his Twitter handle is what it is.
Bandygrass?
Yeah.
Uh,
Did you know?
Why would I know?
Is he as tall as a blade of grass?
A band of grass?
Oh, maybe he's a whole bunch of grass put together.
Does grass come in bands?
I think so.
Band of grass was taken, so he went with bandygrass.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That must be it.
I don't even think he's here anymore.
No, he's in Japan. He's fucking. Let's see. It's 8 a.m.
Oh, whoops.
Eh,
Well, he's
8
got to
a.m.
get up early. He's got to
Oh.
get up early to lift weights.
He's got to get up early to make art for me.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, he's like way ahead of me. Oh my god, he's still there. He's yelling now. Maybe he's like dozing off and then he gets up.
It's like, what happened? I'm too short to hear the speaker.
Wait, it's 4 p.m. already?
Oh, 4:30.
Oh, I'm like way off. Oh shoot, it is.
Yeah, you were so far off. I don't even know what's going on.
I remember like so many time zones for different friends in different places that I get them all mixed up.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap, that's yeah. Anyway, it's 11 p.m. here.
Oh, his biceps are taller than me. Could you
That's
imagine if you had 6 foot 1 inch biceps? How disgusting of a freak you would be.
Yeah, but oh my gosh, my past self froze and that was stressful.
Oh no.
Yeah,
What will we do? Professionalism minus.
that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We have fun here.
definitely. We've covered all the good questions so far. Might as well take a break.
Yeah.
I'm looking for more questions. I'm googling podcast questions.
Podcast questions.
See if we can double
Okay.
these.
Okay.
here.
Who's your favorite indie developer?
Oh, favorite indie developer.
Not named Miguelito, obviously.
Studio, single person.
Single individual. Who do you think really has the most fun? That you appreciate their method the most?
Shit. I really like a lot of the people on the Skytorn team. They got some good stuff.
Yeah,
Mr.
and they're
he's
all
Chad.
under 15 years old. It's
Yeah, he's
impressive.
like 12, and he's got more shaders than, you know.
Yeah, you don't meet many 4-year-old C# programmers. It's very
No. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. So, I mean, he gets my vote.
Yeah, Skytorn is cool. I mean, every day I see something that's like, wow, that's a cool thing that's happening.
It's in my little book. Like, I have an idea that pretty much describes Skytorn. It was one of those things where it's like, oh, well, someone's making that, crosses it off the list and cries. So,
Yeah.
looks awesome, and I will be buying it the day it comes out.
Strangely enough, I asked the question without really any answer in mind for myself. It is a difficult question because, I think the reason people do indie, other than being talentless losers, for the people that are not, I think it's because you have a lot of freedom, and I think people do it because they enjoy it. You very rarely see somebody who's an indie developer who's doing it for the money. because
Yeah,
that's a hard route. I
yeah.
mean,
It has been hard.
it's hard to do. I mean, it's hard to say I'm gonna be successful and go after it because you can't really quantify it. You can't say like if I work this much, I'm gonna make this much money. In a lot of cases, it's like the opposite.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I do see. I don't even know how to pronounce it. The fucking Vlambeer Judraup Waup Wap Jwap.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why that's his username. I
People
mean,
just call him JW, I guess.
yeah. CW. Yeah.
He
I don't even
seems
remember his full name.
he seems to have fun
But
uh, with what he's doing.
yes, I like him a lot. I got a lot of what I do from him. I mean, he tends to kind of just hack everything together in Game Maker, and then like Rami goes back and fixes everything. And that's kind of how I do it, but I kind of play both roles, I guess.
Yeah, and then you see a bunch of people, that are really. God, I suffer from the same ailment as so many people, where it's like I want to do too many things, and if I was more singular minded, I would probably be a lot better off.
Yeah, I know.
But I appreciate and I watch people, like Bitmoo,
Mm-hmm.
and she kind of skips around and very talented, multi-talented individual. It's interesting to watch. Today I want to do this, so I'm going to.
Yes, yeah.
That kind of and that's just a fun way to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and sometimes I wish I could be more like that. I just don't. I feel like I don't have time. And that's a bitch. I wish I could just quit everything I'm doing and just do what I want all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe someday,
Tomorrow.
but not with the stock market looking like it is right now.
Trying to think of other examples. Someone said Derek Yu. I do like Derek Yu a lot. I haven't seen or heard of him doing anything new since Spelunky. And I've been following him with Spelunky stuff since, I don't know, like 2010 maybe? I don't know, whenever the Game Maker version came out. I feel like it was like 2008. It's a long time. But, yeah. I like him a lot. I like a lot of his design stuff, and he's also a pretty good programmer. I can't really think of anyone else off the top of my head.
There's a bunch of people being like super offended right now. Like, they didn't mention me. I'm the greatest and everybody loves me.
I don't know. Sorry. That's just recently, though. Well, not recently. They're more just like the ones that I always go back to. Most consistent to me, anyway.
Yeah. Gavin was like in the
I was gonna
chat.
say, actually, like Gavin is super inspiring because he does like crazy tech shit that I'd never even think of doing.
Yeah,
But I haven't played anything he's made, so I revisit JW like every day, for example, because when I get bored and I don't want to work, I'll play Nuclear Throne, and that'll make me want to work more. So
Gavin has been a strong influence on me. When I first got into it, he was very willing to talk to me, but I find it deflating. I mean, he's like the only indie dev I see on Hacker News like every couple weeks, and it's like figured out a new way to do this thing that nobody else can do because I'm just smarter than people, and I kind of hate it. He's in the chat. That's why we're talking about it.
Saw it.
But he's he's a good guy. I mean, there are just a lot of good guys because everybody just wants to make something that makes people happy, except the people that don't.
That's how that works.
There are a lot of games that are not made to entertain.
Yeah.
Alternative games.
Yeah. Sandy said a question a while back, and he said it like 3 times now, so I'm going to acknowledge it. He said talk about dealing with burnout. I don't know if you have any opinions on that.
Oh. Well, you go ahead, because you have a lot more burnout experience than I do.
Yeah, I don't really know where to start with it. I typically don't get burned out super easily unless it's one of the big like refactoring phases. Like as long as I can keep up Steam where I'm posting GIFs and people are telling me that what I'm making is cool, I can keep doing it all day, every day, and not ever worry about it or feel bad or think about anything else. But as soon as I have to like stop, build some like actual systems that fucking work and can be expanded upon, and I take time and I'm not showing progress, then it's really easy to go, oh my god, I've looked at this way too long, and I just don't want to look at it anymore.
Yeah.
Like the end of ink, like picking out a few bugs and doing menu stuff, like after the entire game had been done and there's nothing left to show, that was hard and really slow because the game didn't actually take 3 months. It took maybe a month of full time work, but it took 3 months to get it to market. Um, and then like with Farah now, rebuilding all this, I've been like, ugh. And then just now over the last week, I've started to really pick up steam again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of how I deal with it. Is I go, okay, fine, fuck it, put everything aside that's making me sad, and make something cool again, even if it's unrelated and kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, rapid prototyping, I think, is your favorite thing.
Definitely, by far.
Because you can get, I mean, and there's the old programming adage about, finishing 90% of a project in 10% of the time.
Yeah,
And then the last 10% is just fucking mind crushing torture.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but we got to also acknowledge that Sandy said that I prevent burnout by making lazy art.
Someone also said like you need affirmation from others to not burn out, and that's not really the case.
No.
It's more side effects. Like the things that I'm making, I tweet them because I like them, not so that you will like them. When I'm not tweeting anything, it's because I'm not making anything that I like, and that's what sucks. If that explains that.
Yeah, the affirmation is a separate deal.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I like when people tell me I'm great. Has nothing to do with burnout. My burnout, I do things differently. I like to think. I mean, I've been writing code for so long. I don't even think from a code perspective anymore. I always just think like, I want to make a game about these characters. So when I get started on a game, I design a bunch of characters. And I start thinking like, what are their personalities and how would they interact with each other, and what world would be the most interesting place for them to interact, and eventually I come down to like sort of an idea and start prototyping it, blah blah blah. But the burnout for me comes from just creative blocks, and that's a natural thing when you're doing art, when you're doing anything creative. It comes down to like you just run out. Usually that's when the alcohol wears off, and there's an easy fix for that.
More alcohol.
More alcohol. But I avoid it sometimes by getting on Twitch and streaming, and sometimes Personal have a perspective that I didn't have about what I'm doing, and it makes me think, yeah, I could change what I'm doing a little bit, and kind of make it new again. Because none of my ideas are perfect, and I'm not sticking to anything, that intensely. But this is all. It all just feels so new. I enjoy it, and I do lazy art. I get that criticism absolutely, because I grew up with Bob Ross, and it's like my entire method has been quantity over quality to progress, and I feel like the more you do and the faster you do it, the better you get, and the faster you get better.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense at all. I'm like, I'm both learning how to write games and draw games simultaneously.
Yeah.
And so when I sit down to draw, I want to get quickly back to writing again. And
yeah, I mean, like the same could go for programming. I mean, effects and like game feel stuff and gameplay code you don't learn from sitting down and figuring out coding architecture and
yeah, that's that's something I
you
wanted
just
to
make
talk
a whole
about.
bunch of shitty games until they feel awesome.
That is something I wanted to talk about because I touched on it before. I've been programming a very long time. I have not been making games a very long time.
Yeah.
And the thing about making games is, if you are not a visually minded person, it's got to be really hard to make a good game,
Yeah.
or at least to make a game that feels fun to play.
Hmm.
Now there are people that can make things like Dwarf Fortress, and like you have all the respect in the world for them, and not be visually minded. Be more of a analytical kind of a
Yeah.
person. But I think the game devs that are the most visible and successful in the indie realm are the ones that can picture it in their mind and kind of know what things should feel like. And you have devoted a lot of time to that. I think it's instantly
Yeah,
obvious.
definitely. And I mean, I get a lot of that from a few of the developers that I mentioned. Like I think Spelunky feels amazing. Super Meat Boy was like my first indie game. Um, all Vlambeer games feel good. If not, there's Screen Shake to cover it up. Like things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well
Um,
then, that wasn't as interesting as I thought it would be.
let's see if I missed anything there. Oh, and I was going to say, the other thing is just working with the Spaceboy team. There's always someone who isn't burnt out,
Oh yeah.
and it helps a lot. Like,
Yeah. And that person is little fox man.
yeah, Little Fox Man. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the easiest part of the entire job. Is like you can go onto the Slack at any time, and someone has posted something awesome, even if like you've been just wasting your day away every day. Saturday, Sunday, doesn't really matter. Middle of the night, because of where we're spread out, like every hour of the day, something's going on in our Slack that's cool. So, yeah, that was kind of weird.
What? What?
My team's awesome. We're all super cool, everybody.
Oh yeah, everybody knows that the
You can't
Spaceboy
super
team.
burnout. You're not.
You've got an interesting team. It seems like you picked somebody from every country in the world.
Yeah, I figured it would really help on my taxes. Turns out it's the opposite case.
So you've got like an expatriate in Japan. You've got Venezuela covered. I don't know.
We got Brazil. Um, we got everything now.
Everything, all the people.
Yeah, yeah.
Captain Planet. That's a good reference. Which one of you is Heart?
Oh, that's definitely Felipe.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, yeah,
Earth. Fire. Wait,
yeah. That's
no.
me.
Fire's a guy.
Sandy's obviously grass. Is that not even one of them?
Grass?
Yeah,
I have the grass ring. And he holds up the
Yeah.
ring and just grass flies out of it. And it's like, dude,
how
what
that
the
works.
fuck are you even doing here, grass man?
I think it's Earth, but
It's earth, fire, wind, water, and heart.
again, I was like -3.
Yeah. Well, the Captain Planet was actually, I don't know if it was invented by Ted Turner. I think it was actually. And it's just like total child brainwashing show. And they're like totally unapologetic about it as well. Like, oh, I like nuclear power, so half my face is melted off and I'm pure evil.
That's how that works.
Yeah. When nuclear power is like the cleanest form of energy we could get, it's almost unlimited. We got to do more nuclear power, guys. I don't know. If you learn one thing from Mr. Pod, it's that nuclear power is the best.
Yes, that's all that matters.
Yes. Maybe we should change the name of the podcast to Frog and Chicken, or Chicken and Frog.
Oh, we should do that. We could chick frog.
Welcome back to Chicken and Frog. This sounds like a really disgusting foreign food.
You know what just happened?
Uh,
I started to get a cold.
A cold?
Yeah, because it's 25 degrees in this room.
You do realize the temperature of a room does not give you a cold, right?
Well, I thought we were just like not doing the science thing.
Science is very important to me. That's why I have a pseudoscience degree in psychology.
That's what's up.
Well, it's a soft science. You have to take science.
Yeah.
to get a psychology degree. I personally took oceanography.
I have a computer science degree. You can,
Computer science.
yeah,
Yes.
it's just as good.
Same thing.
Yeah, I
Whatever.
know how to Google psychology.
I my roommate, I don't know if I've ever talked about this before because I was so traumatized. My roommate in college was this guy who was a computer engineering major. And that's strike one because he's a weirdo. And when I first got to talking to him, he was kind of a potluck thing. It wasn't somebody I picked. And the first day I started talking to him, I was like, "Fuck, this is gonna be a strange year." And starting at a week after we moved in together, I would wake up and he would be like standing over my bed, like breathing.
Understandable.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I would have people over and we would be chatting and he would just sit there like laughing to himself, staring at a monitor that's turned off with headphones on, like pretending to be laughing at the computer.
That's normal too.
I learned a lot that year about psychology. I think they group psych majors and engineering majors together for the benefit of both.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I never did the live on campus thing really,
Oh
so
yeah.
I don't have any interesting college stories.
Well, Texas A&M has like 80,000 students,
Yeah,
and it's like the biggest campus and the biggest, well, not the biggest state, the coolest state.
the coolest state.
But
I mean, I don't know how many students UW has now. Uh, a lot.
probably.
It's like 80% Asian or something.
Why do you
It was.
why do you say it with disdain like that? Mr. Pod does not condone racism against Asians.
It was just. It was. I don't know. It was weird. Not in a bad way. It was just like I felt like every single person I knew was a math tutor except me, which
Yeah,
totally comes across racist again.
it is pretty
But
racist. Oh, that's another thing about game development. I don't know math, or I didn't.
okay.
I mean, I had my basic high school math stuff. I never really pursued any higher math, and it
Yeah.
hadn't really hindered me in programming uh,
Yeah.
outside of games because I never
Definitely.
really had to do anything like mathematical in my job and
Yeah.
primarily web development
Yeah.
environment and stuff like that. It's mostly like sorting data and UX type stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, Game development is a big math thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
People need to learn and remember math. If I knew back when I was taking like algebra and geometry and all that flibbity flabbity,
Hmm.
if I knew how relevant it was actually going to be, because even my algebra teacher was like, "Yeah, you're never going to use this math,"
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, but it's like the most important math for the future.
Hmm.
Because
Oh, even like simple shit. Like I remember, my math teachers being like, cosine, what's that good for? But here's how you do it, and here's where the button is on your calculator.
yeah, and then it's like, well, shit, I need to do slopes. Let me Google how to do it, and then feel like a fucking retard.
I mean, I cosine like every 2 minutes,
Yeah,
and yeah,
it's important.
yeah,
It's not even doing math; it's just knowing the names of math.
mhm, yeah. That's all sad.
Yeah.
But also, my high school doesn't teach anything related to computers in any form. So
Well, if it makes you feel any better, my computer science teacher in high school was a converted janitor.
that's what's up.
And they basically got a computer lab and they were like, hey, who can program? And the janitor raised his hand. So they got him a certification pretty quick. And it was just, but I guess I'm older. Not that much older, but I'm older
That much.
enough. Uh, like when I learned, I think the first programming language I messed with was QBasic. And the only way to
That's the
learn
thing I heard of.
Yeah, the only way to learn QBasic pretty much was like reading books because the internet wasn't really the thing that it is now.
Yeah.
And people today, my wife teaches fourth graders, and they have no idea that this stuff hasn't been around forever.
Mm,
But it's basically the reason why England was using swords for like thousands of years because they didn't have the internet yet, and technology couldn't advance that quickly. But I'm kind of rolling into a tangent right now.
that's totally cool. They're yelling at me for using cosine instead of sine.
They're both relevant and valid.
Yes,
They do
and as
different
if
things.
the optimization I need to make is stop using cosine. I use Game Maker.
Yeah.
The difference between cosine and sine, I don't think it's going to change.
Yeah, you can't even do a for each statement in
That is
Game
true.
Maker. That's real sad. That makes me sad for the world. And you also can't just write a function. I guess you can. You got to make a script. And
Yeah,
it's
you have
like
to make a script.
everything's global.
For the most part.
It's very strange. Like there's no private variables of any kind.
No.
But which is
I think,
fine. It's fine because you can make a game in like 4 minutes.
yeah, that's the plan.
So make your case for Game Maker.
Um, picture Moon Man, but shit.
Moon Man.
I totally called him out. That's so fucked. I was just arguing with him the other day about like building systems and stuff. I think we were talking about that.
Now you're talking about Ben. Ben's name isn't actually
Yeah.
Moon Man.
I know, I know. But did we talk about that? I don't remember if we did.
I think we did. Ben is like one of the number one nice guys on Twitter.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's a super nice dude, and he's super smart. But yeah, I was just like trolling, and I was like, hey, don't waste your time. Just hack your game together and do a big pile of shit, and then release it.
Well, there are a lot of instances where people wrote custom engines, and you wonder why, because it's like
Yeah.
they're really not doing anything that technologically sophisticated.
Yeah.
And the one time somebody made the argument to me, like, oh, but it's not efficient. You know, you need to go for performance. And my response is like, yeah, because computer hardware is only getting slower.
Yeah.
So if it runs on the most basic shit, then it's gonna run forever.
Yeah.
But
And I mean, like, that's really the main argument. Like in Ben's case, for instance, like Moon Man has a lot of specific cool stuff that you couldn't do efficiently in Game Maker. Like that's 100% true. So he can't use Game Maker.
sure.
Everything that I want to make, I can make in Game Maker as of now. And until that's not the case, I'm going to keep using it. Like that's my argument for Game Maker.
Yeah, I would say that you never have to go as granular as like C to write.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
I mean, but people
You don't
choose to because it's like you get a nerd boner for doing it, and I know people like that. That's not really me, obviously.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I'm drinking too much to write that kind of code.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I mean, so your argument for Game Maker, because I'm trying to act for the benefit. I'm trying to lead Mr. Pod more towards a informative kind of a thing. I'm really bad at that because I don't know very much. But Game Maker, yeah, it seems like a really good tool for just making what you want pretty quick and just getting it done.
Yes.
I did run into issues, when you get some complexity in there. They've got some issues with the way that files are, managed. And I've also seen some issues with corruption. But I personally haven't had them. It's all just hearsay.
Yeah. I've heard the same, and a lot of people tell me the same about Game Maker. Like, oh, we run into these big issues. It's almost unusable. I'm like, oh well. I mean, I use it 12 hours a day for years.
I've never had this problem. Are you sure you're not just like bad at it?
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is, if Game Maker had like physical script files that I could edit in an IDE of my choosing and not have to use theirs,
Yeah,
I would still be using it. I mean, if I could write my own classes and
yeah,
objects and everything and
yeah.
not ever have to like drag a code block,
Hmm.
uh, I would use it now and forever.
And I mean, I'm sure they'll get there.
Maybe if that's the
As
direction they
they're
want to go.
moving away from like drag and drop and being that accessible. At least I think so. Um, so who knows?
Well,
They
after
do have the Yo-Yo compiler now, which translates everything to C++ before it launches, and that makes a lot of the efficiency problems go away. So there are like better options now, and I'm sure they'll continue to get better. But
yeah, and maybe
yeah,
we'll have to see.
and there's a bunch of people saying, arguing for the building your engine thing, which is fine.
Yeah,
Um, um, um,
and I
it's
will.
really cool if you want to build your own engine for fun.
Yeah,
Um,
if that's what you want to do is be an engine
but
developer.
a lot of the time, I see people who are like, "I've been building my engine for a year. I can't wait to start making my game. By the way, what should I do to make ends meet? Because I can't afford to eat because my game's taking too long." Well, you could have been done with your game already. So, like in that case, the argument doesn't really work.
Yeah,
But yeah, like if your goal isn't to make games and make them quickly and efficiently, go ahead and do whatever you want. That's fine. That's cool.
you should have made a pixel-based infinite runner, and then you'd be done with 5 games and
Yeah,
stacking money on top of money. That's how you do it.
yeah. I mean, I don't care if you build an engine.
But I will say, like, Game Maker is not more accessible because of their drag and drop. Because
Oh no,
I think it's slow garbage.
yeah. I mean, it's for 5-year-olds. That's actually what it's for.
But like Construct 2
Mm-hmm.
does that, but they do it in a much like more efficient, clearer keyboard based environment.
Yeah,
To
I
where
saw
I don't think I would ever recommend Game Maker to somebody that doesn't know how to write code because
Yeah,
their drag and drop interface is just kind of inferior. But
yeah,
Construct 2 is HTML5 only, and until they've proven that they can get, speeds on a mobile device,
yeah,
it's kind of iffy whether or not that's a valid avenue. They can, I mean, you can port HTML5 to the Wii U now, which is a boon, I guess. But Construct 2 is a delight to use, I have to say. Like after messing with it for a few hours, I had something that was just like super silly and fun, and I didn't think too hard. I didn't have to read anything because it all just kind of made sense. And the way that it works, instead of having drag and drop, is when you start a new event, you start typing what you want to do. And it's almost like IntelliSense. It like locates the behavior that you want, and you just hit
yeah.
return.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was much faster for me, coming from a programming background. But I don't know. I can't think about somebody starting from scratch anymore. Like that's like so far out of my ability to think about. I don't know, and I'm using Unity,
Yes, yeah,
which I just hate with a passion. I mean, Unity does some things okay. 2D is not really one of them.
yeah. I mean, it's gotten tons better.
It's easier. I'm not sure it's better.
Okay, I can see that.
And 2D, by 2D I don't mean 2D. What I really mean is pixel perfect 2D.
Yeah, yeah.
And
There's no grid. There's no. Yeah.
Yeah, because it all operates on floats. You very rarely,
Hmm.
you got to round everything to an integer if you want it to be consistent. And there are some things that you have to just not worry about. Like shit moving, pixels stretching, and
Mm-hmm.
you just kind of have to ignore a lot of it sometimes if you're gonna make a game. And I think you see it with games like like Crawl.
Yeah, yeah.
Where I don't know if they went with kind of a muddy look intentionally to kind of disguise
I
the
was gonna
fact that
say
they're
like it kind of fits the pixel style because it's more like painterly, even though it's pixels.
yeah. So you don't notice necessarily when something's fucked up because the whole thing is supposed to look kind of fucked up. And that's not an insult to them because I think it's a very cool visual game.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're great.
uh,
I mean,
and an amazing concept. I think
yeah,
fully realized, with networking and everything, could just be totally awesome. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend Unity to somebody that's like a 3D modeler who's not very experienced.
yeah. Or if you want to make a bear with a chainsaw attached to it
Yeah,
on
I
a in
that
cage.
that's a good example. Unity's not the fastest, so
No,
Chainsaw Bear could probably be more efficient in a different engine, but it's it's easy.
yeah, yeah.
And the workflow is very similar to Game Maker.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in that instead of dragging and dropping stuff, you've got your same events. You just have to know what they're called and
Yeah, yeah.
type them into your classes and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Then you
Has,
punch bears.
has anyone like asked you for tips, like how do you get into Unity and stuff like that?
Uh, I don't know that if I'm the type of person where people ask technical things to. I've had a lot of people on streams ask me, "How can I learn to code?"
Yeah,
Um, and that program coming from an adult is like, I feel like the honest answer is just give up. Because if you haven't been interested enough to learn it by now, you
yeah.
probably aren't gonna ever. But I
That's
that's not fair because a lot of people might have an aptitude for it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Uh,
sucks because that's always like one of my go-to answers. Like, if you weren't curious enough to figure it out, you're probably not going to with my asset pack or whatever.
yeah, because I think a lot of the great programmers that I know, and I don't know if Gavin backed me up or not, he seems like the type of person that from a very young age would have been like, holy shit, this is the coolest. I feel like playing
Yeah,
God
yeah,
and I'm creating something out of nothing. And
yeah.
that's
And
that's
curiosity is just like
that's the programmer mind. You've got to have a little bit of autism, and you know, it's just got to be something that you want to do.
yeah,
Because if
yeah.
it's not, then it's going to be just the most painful thing. You might as well be like a garbage man, because it's going to pay just as well and not be horrible.
Garbage man,
Garbage man is the
garbage
go-to.
man. We are very uplifting. We're like, oh, no good games this year. Games are bad.
Oh, there have been
Don't
good
build
games.
engines. You're wasting time.
Undertale was a fucking amazing game.
Give up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now's a good time to address. I don't know what Kappa means to the people on Twitch. I see it all the time. People say Kappa to me, and it's one of those like I'm old and I've never known what this meant, and I'm too lazy to look it up. Do you know what that means? Because it's
I have
like
no
it comes
clue.
with like a face. It kind of looks like Michael J. Fox. I don't know if it's him or not.
I don't internet enough. Like, people ask me a bunch of weird memes and shit all the time. Like, I've used Reddit twice in my life. I have no fucking clue.
Ja- Japanese turtle thing. That doesn't sound right.
All right. Squirtle? That was the last Japanese turtle I've heard of, and it was like 15 years ago.
Kappa. See, this isn't helpful because I don't think they even know.
Uh,
I think it's just one of those things that people say now and they have no idea why.
well, now I got face with different hair, face with cat ears, and I don't.
Well, that's the Kappa face.
Why?
I don't know what it means.
I don't understand what's happening.
Oh, okay, of course Gavin knows, fucking asshole. He's, he's like, well, the historical background of Kappa dates back to the early 400 BC.
I have to scroll all the way down to folklore. That's gonna.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to click that right now. We've got too much important things to talk about. Any
Yeah, we got the big list. Well, while you keep going, I'm gonna Kappa.
Kappa? I don't even know if this is entertaining for people. I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
I mean, the hell am I looking at?
I don't know. Kappa, I guess.
Kappa. I don't understand how what I'm looking at relates to that face in any way. I'm just gonna pretend it's not. I'm being trolled.
Yeah. God, everybody's just posting it, and I don't think it
Yeah.
means anything.
No, it's not a thing.
It's not. Y'all are all phonies, and you're just following other people. Somebody originally decided, I'm going to use this stupid face.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently it's embarrassing though.
Oh, well, only to them. But,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really get embarrassed on the internet. I think that's obvious.
Anyway, I'm gonna answer Punch's Bears question
Oh,
because he's
yeah.
about prototypes.
Do it.
Um, let's see. I made a
Read, read,
prototype.
the, read the question first. For the benefit of people that don't watch live.
I mean, he just said what type of prototypes you want to make someday, and now I'm
Okay.
gonna talk about prototypes. Let's see. Um, prototypes. Prototypes that I don't want to reveal yet because they're going to be Spaceboy games soon. um, hmm. I want to do something that makes Sonic not suck again without getting sued.
Speed
I've
hog.
I've done that in several iterations, but I'm not quite set on a formula yet. I know that's like very vague, but um, basically what Meat Boy did for Mario, I want to do for Sonic. That's kind of how I explain it.
Did Meat Boy do something for Mario? I don't think those
No,
games
it's
are
like
even.
like they took Mario and they boiled it down to very simple, and then they sped it up. Like,
It's like different in every way.
oh yeah, I know, totally is. So I just want Sonic like boiled down to its absolute bare minimum and its roots, like fast moving, good feeling stuff. It's a great description.
It's got Super in
Guy
the
who
name.
keeps giving me bummer answers said that Meat Boy sucks. So I'm yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know what that is anyway. Apparently I'm gonna make America better again though. That's good to know.
Great again, I think is the line.
Yeah. I don't want to step on his parade though, you know.
Yeah. Of course,
Trump's
back when it was great, there
he's
was
got
like all kinds of social problems.
anywho,
The dark side of greatness. So, you want to talk about Star Wars? Can we spoil the shit out of Star Wars?
from prototypes to Star Wars. Um I really wanted to make a Star Wars game, but they don't let indies do that yet.
Yeah, well, you just make a fake Laser Sword Boy game.
I don't want to do that though. I want like big companies to trust like leasing out their shit.
Yeah, good luck.
We've talked about this before, but
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
not gonna happen. At least not commonly or often.
And not by Disney.
Yeah, not by Disney. But yeah, sad day. Sad day. And didn't someone make a Star Wars indie game and then like they got all their money taken away and all this other stupid shit? Or
When?
they took the game down after the dev finished the game.
When was that?
Uh, I don't. It's got to be like at least 2 or 3 years now. It was a mobile game they made for Star Wars, and after the game came out, they took the game down, and they didn't even tell the dev why. They just stopped, and then obviously the dev didn't get paid for sales because there were no sales.
Well,
You can look it up. You'll find it somewhere.
I'm not even sure I'm comfortable talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, I know. I'm afraid to. I could say Kylo Ren without feeling like an asshole. Everything else kind of still like.
George Lucas like ninja approaches. He falls from behind like Michael Myers. It's like slowly peers over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, my daughter's awake. We probably should cut this anyway.
That's how all podcasts should end.
Yeah, I think it's probably a good stopping point. Unless you got anything else you want to talk about, I got to get her.
Did you
back
just
to
get a
bed.
text from George Lucas?
I did. It said cease and desist, fucker.
God, I got the same thing. We're fucked.
Yeah.
Farah is delayed. Chicken Sword is delayed. Dodgeball Tournament Power Town is delayed.
Power Town 2006.
Yeah. I think it was the Soul Team, by the way. Whoever said that.
Huh.
Um, yeah, Frog Swords delayed. Um, that's about it.
Yeah.
And everyone thought I was 12 because I'm your son.
Well, it makes sense. Because we look so much alike. But,
Yeah, the
okay.
hair.
Yeah, I don't think Dodgeball is delayed.
I'm pretty sure.
It's just not
Or maybe that
announced.
was just the networking. I don't know.
No, the networking works. I really got to get you into it. It's fun play. I got to get you all into it. We're going to
Yeah,
all play Dodgeball.
I would play dodgeball with you. That'd be cool. We should kickstart it, and we should have people fly to Texas to play dodgeball with us.
Why Kickstarter? It's made on Unity for free.
Like, how are you gonna pay the the models that had to stand still while you pixeled them?
Yeah, exactly. I'm checking to see if she's back to bed. I heard her yelling.
It really sucks when you kill my joke with the serious vibe.
Oh, I can't help it.
I think they're all ready to back dodgeball on Kickstarter.
Nobody wants to back Dodgeball. They don't even
I'll let you,
know.
I'll let you put Frog Sword in as a secret character.
Jesus Christ.
I won't even sue you.
Okay, there she is. All right. Okay, so probably a good time to shut this down. Do you mind cutting it short? Well, it's not
I
even
think
short. It's been like
that's
an
probably a good idea
okay.
at
Well,
this point.
this has been an episode of Mr. Pod with Tiny Baby Girl.
Yes, it has.
Say hi. Okay. Well, have a good night, everybody.
I I will have a great night.
Thank you.
Goodbye, friends.